design solutions for sustainable development in Palghar and Boisar. We have amazing architects along with us. So kindly be seated. We are soon going to start with the panel discussion. And warm welcome, CREDAI-MCHI PALGHAR-BOISAR Property Expo, which has started yesterday and which has started today and will be on till 6th April 2025, powered by SBI. There are 50 plus developers, 70 plus projects, 3,000 plus properties over here in the expo. We are soon going to start with panel discussion. We have amazing and great architects along with us over here. Everyone kindly join us at conference hall.
कभी कॉफी की ज़रूरत होती है, आई थिंक वो वाला समय है, बट आई एम श्योर ये पैनल डिस्कशन जैसे ही आगे बढ़ेगा, आई एम श्योर मोर पीपल विल फाइंड इट इंटरेस्टिंग. सो विथ मी, ladies and gentlemen, I have got a great panel here. I have got a panel from, which is consisting of a great master planner and a very, famous architect and an urbanist. मेरे साथ हैं Mr. Jitesh. Thank you. He is heading the master planning team from Adani Realty, and Jitesh has got experience across the world. अभी मैं उनसे बात कर रहा था, उन्होंने बोला 65 countries तो already मैं काम भी कर चुका हूँ और देख भी चुका हूँ और आगे और करने की इच्छा है. So I am glad that he is with us because he can give us some international perspectives. और मेरे साथ है architect Mubashir. He is from Hafiz Contractor and Associates. He has been an associate of Mr. Hafiz Contractor, the legendary architect of India, and he is working with him since a very long time, 2012. And he brings along a lot of experience in designing sustainable architecture, sustainable townships and so on. So आज हम ये जो पैनल डिस्कशन है उसमें ये जानना चाहेंगे, क्योंकि हम जब बात करते हैं पालघर और बोईसर के डेवलपमेंट की और आने वाले इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के इम्पैक्ट की, तो हम ये भी सोचते हैं कि जब हम नए क्लाइंट्स की बात कर रहे हैं, जब हम ये सोच रहे हैं कि भाई MMR 4 मुंबई 4 जब यहाँ बनेगा, तब यहाँ पर बहुत सारे MNCs आएंगी, बहुत सारे कॉर्पोरेट्स आएंगे और उनके एक खास डिमांड होता है, और वो डिमांड ये होता है कि आपका बिल्डिंग जो है मैं लीज करने को तैयार हूँ, मैं उसको खरीदने को तैयार हूँ, लेकिन उसमें ग्रीन एलिमेंट क्या है, इज इट IGBC सर्टिफाइड, इज इट सस्टेनेबल पीस ऑफ आर्किटेक्चर. सो वो एक जो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पहलू है, and that पहलू is not only about selling your buildings or leasing your buildings, it is actually contributing to what Mother Earth or Mother Nature has given us, right? So ये मेरा जो पैनल है और ये जो दो मेरे साथ जो बड़े पैनलिस्ट हैं, मैं उनको आज ये पूछने वाला हूँ कि मैं मेरी मर्यादा में रहते हुए, मैं मेरे माइक्रो मार्केट की इकोनॉमी में ध्यान में रखते हुए मैं कैसे सस्टेनेबिलिटी को मेरे प्रोजेक्ट्स में अपना पाऊँगा. नाउ माय फ्रेंड्स, मुझे इतना पता है, बिकॉज बीइंग फ्रॉम अ डेवलपर फ्रेटर्निटी, आई नो दैट व्हेन यू से दैट आई वांट टू बिकम डेवलपर हु हैज गॉट अ सस्टेनेबल और एनवायरमेंटल फ्रेंडली प्रोजेक्ट, सबसे पहला प्रॉब्लम आता है या जो आइडिया मेरे दिमाग में आता है वो होता है कि भाई कॉस्ट बढ़ जाएगा, राइट? सो विद दैट पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन इन माई माइंड, माई क्वेश्चन इज टू my first question to both of you, starting from this, is that in your particular capacity as a master planner, how do you bring in that sustainable elements while keeping cost in control?
तो can you hear me? हाँ, तो अभी हमने बहुत सुना, राइट, रोटी कपड़ा मकान और सोशल मीडिया, उसमें आप सस्टेनेबिलिटी भी जोड़ दो 5, ठीक है, क्योंकि दैट इज गोना बी नेसेसिटी, राइट? ना तो सोशल मीडिया से ऊपर रख दो, बिकॉज आपके पास अगर पानी नहीं रहेगा, बिजली नहीं रहेगी, तो सोशल मीडिया पर जाके हम करेंगे भी क्या, राइट? सो बहुत ज़रूरी है सस्टेनेबिलिटी, फ्रॉम नॉट ओनली फ्रॉम द पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू टुडे व्हाट वी आर डूइंग, हमको कल क्या करना है. कल जाके रिसोर्सेज कम होने वाले हैं, पानी कम होगा, बिजली कम होगी, हमारे पास ट्रैवलिंग में जितना टाइम जाएगा उसके लिए जो भी हमारा कंजम्पशन होता है, फ्यूल कंजम्पशन एक्सेट्रा, वो भी हम पे लोड होगा. तो आज अगर आप सस्टेनेबल बिल्डिंग बनाते हो तो उसके 2 फायदे हैं. एक जो आपने ऑलरेडी बोला, ग्लोबली जो कंपनीज यहाँ आके आपको प्रीमियम रेंट देने वाली हैं, वो कंपनीज ऑलरेडी ग्लोबल लेवल पे उनका नेट जीरो टारगेट, जो सस्टेनेबिलिटी टारगेट साइन कर चुकी है, राइट? उनको अगर आपके साथ रेंट पर आना है या लीज पे आना है, तो आपको कंपल्सरी अपने यहाँ पर एक प्रकार का सस्टेनेबल बिल्डिंग बनाना पड़ेगा. दैट इज वन. सो यू विल गेट मोर प्रीमियम बाय हैविंग सस्टेनेबल बिल्डिंग. Second is your operations and maintenance cost. So if you are making only making residential, your clients are very smart. They would know कि आज 5 रुपया पर स्क्वायर फीट मेरा मेंटेनेंस है, कल 15 रुपया हो जाएगा, 20 रुपया होगा, 25 रुपया हो जाएगा. So I should invest in this property or not. ठीक है. तो एक वो माइंडसेट वाले जो लोग होंगे जो when they look at the O&M, they will also try and maximize on that. So one, you get the residential buyers, and second is your office lease. Office lease will also run on O&M. So you will have to think about operations and maintenance, sale cost, as well as long-term premium, right? So that's why you should make sustainable projects rather than just thinking about the upfront costs.
Right, Jitesh, but my question is still very specific, is that ये सब करते हुए जब कॉस्ट बढ़ता है हमारा, तो उसको हम कैसे कंट्रोल करें?
यही इसमें रिकवर होता है. So cost बढ़ता है, of course बढ़ेगा. It's not that somebody should come and say any sustainable buildings are cheaper than regular buildings. But what cost you're putting in? So if you're putting 2 rupees more per square feet, you're gaining 15 rupees back in return. So don't think about the upfront cost. You think about long-term gain. Right? I'm not going to put an illusion that sustainable building सस्ता रहेगा.
Lovely. Mursi, your take on this?
So I'll answer this question in two parts. First, I'll answer it like an architect. Sustainability in design would, in pure monetary sense, cost you 3% more in construction cost. This is like gold rated building, basic बनाना है आज के ज़माने में. Whatever is the EC compliance, उसके बाद 3 से 5% के अंदर your building becomes sustainable in very pure basic sense. But this is something that everybody knows and everybody can answer. But I think today, when I'm talking in a zone like this in Palghar-BOISAR, which is up and coming, my answer is not going to be on building design. My answer should be as a master plan. So the second part of my answer is as a master plan. So infrastructure and road networks in any city or any node is more than 20% of its area and cost. In cost it is in fact more, but in area it is that much. So sustainability should start from planning. So if you can plan a city well, I am saying, see, sustainability is not that today I have, let's say, India has 20% of the world's population living in less than 2.5% of its land area. So sustainability is trying to save land, is trying to save material, is trying to save for the future. So when you're planning today, if you can just reduce the infrastructure, make lesser roads, concentrate your development in nodal areas, you make taller buildings there. Maybe it might add to a cost, but that whole networking, storm water, sewage network, water supply to the last point, everything you recycle back to making it in one concentrated point. Leave the remaining part for plantation, leave it for farming. Forget it. So that is another approach to sustainability which I think as planners and as a emerging node we should look at.
Lovely, lovely. Very informative. Ritesh, coming back to you, I mean, since you work with Adani Realty, which has been known to lead this infrastructure followed by real estate growth. So from your firm's perspective and from your expertise, you tell me how this infrastructure is playing a role in encouraging the developers to make their products more sustainable, and how can we achieve it?
I think part of the question Mubasir already answered in last question, but I will add one more perspective from all the developers' point of view, right? So everywhere across the globe, it's not like it's relevant to India. Everywhere in the world, people demand infrastructure to start with, right? So basic necessities are, you know, how you make more 15-minute city or high density around transit, etc. That demand is now increasingly growing in India. It has been there for some time. But if you look at Mumbai, Mumbai is one of the first transit-oriented developments across the globe. आप अगर देखेंगे 2 railway lines अगर नहीं होती तो बॉम्बे कैसे develop होता? So infrastructure is critical to get any real estate move happen. And many parts of India we see tier 2 particularly, where development happens first and infrastructure comes later. That is something you are at a cusp, you know, as Palghar-BOISAR. you as developers can come together and challenge that, use the platform. I think Sagar has run out. Hello, you can hear? Yeah. So, आप as a group can come together, use the platform like CREDAI and plan for your Boisar and Palghar's future, right? Rather than wait for developments to happen in piecemeal, which will work for now, right? Which will sell for now, but eventually people will be growing to better lifestyle, less time to commute. So एक साथ आके अगर आप अच्छा सा मास्टर प्लान बनाते हो खुद से, use this platform and make infrastructure come first, and then real estate follows.
Lovely, thank you. Mubashir, continuing to that question, your firm is working on large-scale urban design projects, township projects, especially in tier 2 cities. So can you, आप एक ऐसा प्रोजेक्ट डिस्क्राइब कर सकते हो हमारे साथ, एक केस स्टडी हमारे साथ शेयर कर सकते हो जहाँ पर आपने टियर 2 सिटीज़ में या इमर्जिंग लोकेशंस में आपने कोई बड़ा लेआउट प्लान किया है which also ensures sustainability, and how? What were the components?
To answer that, it's not a tier 2 city, but I'll specifically talk about one project I'm doing with Roomwal. Today it is a 4 crore square feet campus. We are doing everything from a mall to a hospital to a hotel to residential, schools, arcade, all of it. So this is across 250 acres, and to put it into context to anybody, so everybody knows Hiranandani Pawai, that is 2.5 crore square feet. So this Gopiviti campus is 1.5 times of that. So it all started in 2018, we got an empty plot. Today 80% of the inventory is sold, built 60%, 80% is sold. So it all started with the primary master plan. So the primary master plan basically did two things. It cut short the roads, it gave a central garden, it gave access to every person to the garden, and we made all the, we made an inward looking scheme with every amenity in place. So,
I'm sorry, but can you explain this inward looking scheme?
There is a small
presentation here
I have shared with you. Could you please have that projected? It's there in the 7th or 8th slide.
Sure. एक मुबशिर जी का एक presentation है. Can you just put it on the screen so that viewer can see as well what he's explaining? In the meantime, by the time they connect, if you can please continue.
So this is one of the schemes that we did, and I feel today it is so successful because of the strong nature of the master planning. It sells more than 4,000 crores a year. Another scheme which I could call sustainable was what we did with CIDCO. We are doing 60,000 houses with precast as a primary node technology. So in that we've used bus depots and we've constructed on top of bus depots. So bus and truck terminals we've constructed on top by giving the commuter facilities below and the bus depot below, and we've constructed buildings so that helped save land costs. And in a place like Kalamboli, where a normal one bedroom would be around 40 to 60 lakhs, we were able to give it at 30% lesser cost because we were able to recycle the land. We are doing this exercise currently with MSRTC as well. It must come down in the paper as well. So our team is working on it extensively to these are all sustainable that we tackle. So I think we can circle back, we'll move on to the next question.
Sure, no worries. Once the presentation is on, I will come back to you on the same point. In the meantime, Jitesh, we as developers, हम लोग developers हैं, हम लोग पालघर-बोईसर region में काम करते हैं. अब आप मुझे ये बताइए, from the real estate developers point of view, this region has got its own microclimate as well. It's a monsoon-intensive region, right? However, it has got water scarcity as well, right? Because of the kind of unplanned growth which we have seen, especially in the Boisar region as such. So we as developers, how can we incorporate climate resilient planning? हमें आप समझाइए कि हमें बेसिक चीज़ें ऐसी क्या करनी है ताकि हम ये जो climate friendly buildings में बात कर रहा हूँ, I'm not talking only about green buildings per se, पर ये climate friendly buildings बनाने के लिए मुझे कौन सी बेसिक चीज़ों का ध्यान रखना है while I am planning my project?
Sure. So I think I can draw some examples. We did one big project in
We continue. Yes.
So one project called Future Proofing Cities program. Future Proofing Cities program that was focusing on climate vulnerability. And in that we identified 3 factors. One is the capacity of the council or municipality. So what they understand about climate change. So first, whatever your local council and association is, if you train them first, make the capacity to come up. So that's step 1. Step 2 is whatever you're designing, come together. I still repeat the same thing that I said last time. Come together and create a master plan which focuses on climate resilience, water recycling, waste management, technology, and it cannot happen at 10-acre, 5-acre plot level. You have to create a proper, 70, 80, 100 acre is also, I think, nowadays limited. If you do like 15-minute radius around the Boisar and Palghar station and create a proper master plan in that, you can create more strategies around waste management, that is first. Second is water management, that is very important because you have water available to certain limits. So we were just discussing before, our capacity is only 90 liters per person per day, right? And our requirement is 135 as per the rule or as per the standard. But we have seen that this requirement will continue to grow, right? In foreign countries, this requirement because of the bathtub, because of the washing machine, because of the use of all the utensils, washers now, that it goes up. So your requirement is going to go up. And that's why you need more cohesive, integrated master plan at a district or a neighborhood level rather than dealing with it piecemeal, right? And I think that's what I would suggest as a second step. So once you have a more collaborative approach between the developers and the municipality, of course facilitated by something like CREDAI. Second is a more integrated master plan for Palghar and Boisar. And third, which is very important, is execution strategy. So you go step by step so that it doesn't get loaded onto one developer over the other, right? And you collaborate technically saying that, okay, I'm investing in it now, while my project is coming 5 years later, but I'm still investing in it now, like how we invest in mutual funds and bank keep the money for deposits, etc. Imagine that you're investing for water recycling, for waste management now, and then you're going to reap the benefits later. Imagine your project comes 5 years later, you're not coming late in the game, you are actually entering at the commanding premium level because half of these developments already happened. So think about collaborating and working together, and that would be the successful 3 steps to go forward.
Certainly, very helpful, very helpful. In the meantime, my last question was about a township project which has been wearing the tag of sustainability. I think this is the one which you wanted to showcase. So can you please explain?
So this specific scheme, see, I'll tell you, this is not a green rated campus, which is what everybody rates them as sustainable. If you are an IGBC gold rated, it is sustainable. But I can tell you, when we planned this scheme and submitted to environmental committee, we had guaranteed that because of this, the microclimate of the region, because of this planning, will reduce by 0.5 degrees Celsius. But today, after this entire garden in the center, I don't know if you can see it here, this small garden in the center, it's not small, it's 11 acres. Because of that, it is reduced 25% more than what we had committed. And this is a fully functional garden today. And in 2018, it was a rendered master plan on a random piece of paper. And today, this is a built image. This is on 2022, 2024 image, as much more completed in it. So I'm saying sustainability does not mean spending money. It does not mean having to get a rating which makes you spend that 3 to 5% more. It could also be as simple as smart planning, organizing how you do it. There's a very good thing, like I'll tell you, Lodha, when they build, even outside, so we work with Lodha. So how they do is that, let's say they're doing one sector within this. They treat that like it's a South Bombay project. They do their warding around, they build within. So all this when you are looking at a green building rating, there are marks for that in green building rating. So it's only about the intent you need to do. And it also helps you maintain the ambience of the road that you build, the customer experience when they travel. So there's a lot of things. It's all from the smaller things. I don't think everybody needs to run towards ratings and point systems and spending additional money. If you can just, be a little bit more judicious in how you tackle larger projects, it will be helpful. And this is the SIDCO scheme, what I was mentioning. We've done over bus depots. This is 90,000 houses across Navi Mumbai. So most of this are undergoing completion. There are some of these are within bus depots and railway forecourts and all of that.
This is magnificent, Mubashir, and thank you for sharing this details with us. मैं यहाँ पर CREDAI-MCHI के जो प्रेसिडेंट है पालघर बोईसर के प्रशांत जी, मैं आपको एक रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहता हूँ ये माध्यम से कि हमारे पास इतने आई वुड यूज दिस वर्ड पर्टिकुलरली कि ज्ञानी लोग हैं एक पर्टिकुलर सेक्टर में. सो आपको CREDAI-MCHI के पालघर बोईसर यूनिट में एक सस्टेनेबल कमिटी बनाना चाहिए, एंड आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट बोथ ऑफ यू टू ऑल्सो बी अ पार्ट ऑफ इट. And then, these kind of initiatives, these kind of learnings, we can then keep on passing to our fellow developers, our fellow architects here in the PALGHAR-BOISAR region. I think ultimately what we will achieve is something better for us, a better product, a better environment, a better microclimate for our region. So एक मेरा request है, अगर आप उसको ध्यान में लेंगे तो I'll be very grateful. And I'm requesting both of you to consent for this particular association with us, so that we can spread this knowledge across the fraternity. Having said it, Mubashir, आपने जो बात की कि आपको ज़्यादा कुछ खर्चे नहीं करने हैं, आपको ज़्यादा कुछ पॉइंट्स के पीछे नहीं भागना है. Simple things which you can innovate and idealize into your project, and you might achieve a certain grade of sustainability. So, can you talk about certain materials which you use regularly to make your buildings more friendly for environment, more greener for the mother?
Okay, I'll skip through to one product which most of us without concrete. So so everybody's of course there is aluminium formwork, everybody is using it. If that is sustainable in its own ways, you don't need to do plastering, you are saving man hours. You don't need to do 3 coats of preparatory surfaces, then do 2 coats of paint. Precast is just a complete this thing. So we've taken it one level ahead. So I think I'll go to prefabrication as a technology. We are as a team, apart from the office, we are doing in the office we are doing. My team works on more than 5 crore square feet in precast across Bombay. So one thing which we did with L&T in one of our schemes in SIDCO was we made 96 flats fully functional with water supply, everything done in 96 days. There's a 14-story tower. So sustainability.
Hold on. So 96 days.
Yes.
40-story tower.
14. 1-4. So every floor had 8 flats. Within 96, in the 36th day, the structural slab was completed, and on the 96th day, a complete handover tower was given, including piping connected to the chamber, IC chamber building.
Wow. Really?
So this was possible through precast. And we could not, to be very honest, when we did this exercise, it was very intensive, but we could not apply to link up of world records because we did not know that we had to inform them 30 days prior to the handover date. So otherwise this could have been a record by itself. Today, as we are speaking, we are making a MLCP of around 450 car parks in 43 days. That is undergoing, and we are well in schedule to complete that. So what I'm trying to say is sustainability does not necessarily mean that the conventional sustainability that we talk about. It could also mean that I've completed the work in 96 days or half a year rather than spending 3 years for it. That is time sustainability, that is man-hour sustainability, that is material sustainability.
Amazing. So this is a new concept you have given us today. It's not about being green. अगर आप समय बचाते हो तो भी आप रिसोर्स बचा रहे हो. अगर आप ह्यूमन आवर्स बचा रहे हो तो वो भी एक रिसोर्स बचा रहे हो. और अल्टीमेटली
I might be wrong, but I don't see
No, I think that's correct. He is not wrong, because if you look at all these SDGs and ESG goals, right? So safety and security and time consumption and everything is factored in that. So sustainability is not, I mean, when we talk about green building rating, yes, sustainability is limited to rating system and materials and all. But when you talk about circular economy, when we talk about net zero, all these factors of time, effort, safety, length, logistics, everything counts.
I think this is the best takeaway I think we can take home today from you, and thank you both of you for that. Ritesh, coming back to you, you know, PALGHAR-BOISAR region has got this urban node as well as a lot of rural pockets as well. And many of our developers, we work in both the pockets. What we are worried about is losing the identity of the region. What has happened so far, for example, if you take the nearby node, Vasai Virar hai, right, they have lost the identity, the local flavor which it had, the vernacular flavor, it has been lost. It is just another suburb or an extended satellite city for Mumbai. So we as developers, how can we maintain that vernacular flavor while focusing on the expansion? Because anyways, the push of urban growth is coming towards Palghar. It has already been seen. We are seeing the impact, a positive impact. How can we make sure that we maintain the flavor and the vernacular touch of our culture as well while being sustainable?
I think very interesting question. How many of you feel that now India, all the cities started to look like same? While when most of us were growing up, cities look different.
Very much.
Neighborhoods even look different, right? But now everything is same. I think the same is because I'm not blaming architects alone, because they are designing multi-million square feet and they are designing probably the same design, all at least units or precast also to blame for somewhere, but it's part of the process. So now identity becomes much more important when you talk about Palghar and Boisar, because you have the opportunity to save your identity before it's too late. First thing would be to make sure that you have commitment towards it, right? So a lot of time what happens is we don't do urban design part. When I talk to people, even in my own group, when I talk to people, say 10 acre में क्या urban design होता है, 5 acre में क्या urban design होता है. But urban design is very critical. Urban design एक नया word होगा शायद आपके लिए. वो master planning और architecture के बीच का एक phase है, जो आपको character of building देता है. उसका street के साथ क्या interface होना चाहिए, उसका quality of character क्या होना चाहिए. जैसे if you go to Hiranandani Powai, now it has a character, right? If you look at the character, that attracts so many people there. Now same location, you go 100 meters here and there, right? Those cities or those townships don't have a character at all, right? Now Hiranandani Powai has built that character that takes it everywhere. So even you go out and see Hiranandani building anywhere else, let's say go to Khalgar area or anywhere, Thane, you can figure out that this is Hiranandani project, right? Because it has created an identity. Identity pulls more customers to you. Then assurances come, like, okay, if I'm going to this developer or this architect design project, there will be so much of green that you saw, right? There will be so much of street interface, the quality of life would be better. My house will be 5 degrees lesser in temperature. So commitment आना चाहिए हमारे तरफ से कि हमें पालघर और बोईसर का एक आइडेंटिटी बनाना है. Let's put some thoughts and work out that flavor, right? कि यहाँ पर हमें ऐसा कैरेक्टर चाहिए, यहाँ पर हमें ये रिटेन करना है. All the buildings should have certain color. Like Jaipur, how many years back it was designed, right? But उसमें character दिया गया था pink city, right? तो हमें character अगर retain करना है तो we should plan that better now and collaborate more successfully and have faith in architects who can bring that character and urban design on table, create identities, and then you command premium as well, right?
Thank you, Dish. Mubashir, coming back to you, I want to know, because मुझे पालघर बोईसर में काम करते हुए इतना पता है कि भाई IGBC या बिहार के जो कंप्लायंस हैं वो करने के बाद ही आपके बिल्डिंग को ग्रीन सर्टिफिकेट का टैग मिलता है. सो going back to that formality of certification of being a green building, can you tell us a little bit about minimum compliance is required in order to, I mean, if I want to make my building as a green building?
Yeah, so this question, I'll answer it because you're asking me. But this is an off-the-record thing. I mean, it's on a website, you could look into it. But it's basic compliances start from execution, how you intend to execute it, how you intend to tackle execution, what is your facade, what is your heat gain, what is the glass that you use, what is the, except for, to be very honest, except for Griha, which is a more Indianized version. And people don't do it because it is more expensive than doing an IGBC. IGBC's rating is done for, it's an international certification which does not necessarily comply with the Indian norms. So everybody finds way to get a gold certification. So I think, again, this sustainability is a misinterpretation or a misnomer if you ask me.
Because if you would like to add more to this.
I like to add the point. My first project as architect was CII Green Business Center Hyderabad. और वहाँ पर तब सोलर पैनल का एक सेल 18 रुपए का आता था, आज 50 पैसे का आता होगा शायद. But the commitment was there, right? It was not about making it Indian standard. It was about world's first LEED platinum building outside USA. That was the commitment, right? So अगर हमें international standard पे अगर जाना है तो you will have to stretch a little bit, right? But yes, IGBC is a good start. Griha is a good start. It gives you answers. And then if you are targeting premium clients, right? Like big tier 1 occupiers, then probably you go for a stretch. Think about USGBC, platinum or gold rating, which will attract more synergy with US-based, UK-based, Europe-based consultants or tier 1 companies to come and work with you. Right. So I think these are tick boxes in my view. As Mubasir already said, that this is not the process. It's more of a compliance and a tick box that we do, right? But if you are true to your design, I think without even aiming for LEED platinum, without even aiming for any rating system, you would be able to achieve it by just meeting basic needs. Like, are we doing better passive design? Solar radiation is reduced on my walls. We are working with concrete, so we can create some solar path which creates more shadows on the wall.
Vastu as it stands, the basic location of a kitchen as per Vastu is considering that India has southwest winds. So if there is a fire in the kitchen, the wind is supposed to take the fire out. So that is the basic sustainability. Why do you have a Brahmastan? It is so that there is a small microclimate in the center and heat can escape.
The unit in apartment floor is Vastu compliant. You have to enter from east. Your kitchens are always in northeast. Your master bedroom is always in southwest. Your guest bedroom is always in northwest. So you will see this. An impact of microclimate is of course very important. Vastu people follow because of the astrological reasons, but it's a science. Our vernacular learnings are way ahead of its time. I think if we can look back and borrow something from that would be nothing less than making our own success story, rather than thinking of Dubai and all, right?
Very impressive. Thank you. Yes, we have to look back to our own roots maybe to learn more lessons. But then what Mubashir, the problem is the compliances in terms of the bylaws, the DCPR. I mean, not everything is free. I mean, Prashant Bhai and other fellow developers sitting here will agree that every square foot counts. Ultimately, we have to pay premiums on everything. So even if we want to do something out of the box, there are certain bylaws which are stopping us. So as an architect or as an urban designer, if I ask you a very hypothetical question, and that is, what bylaws do you want to go out of the book in order to help us make our buildings more greener and more sustainable? Don't worry, there is no government officer here.
You played right into my wheelhouse. So from the UDCPR perspective, we were part of the team that were giving recommendations. And so in UDCPR, the whole point of giving you 60% ancillary is not so that, I'm sorry, I have developers here, I'm not looking that side. So, then the whole point of giving you 60% ancillary was that you can do architectural features. You can make, why is there a recreational floor in UDCPR? So that is so that you can put in some factors. So standard construction, any builder, any architect would tell you would not require more than 30-35% additional area as ancillary. Why would they give you 65? Is to account for all the nits, all the elevation feature, everything. So all of this have already been accounted for to give you more liberty. I mean, there's only so far you can stretch till it tears, right? So, but if anything I could change, and I think I'm sitting with somebody from Adani while I'm answering this question, it's that aviation heights are the biggest setback our city or the Mumbai or any developing urban node. You know what scares me when you say that Mumbai 4 is going to get an airport? You're going to get airport height limitation. So it's like the most brilliant part of Bombay would be BKC today.
Sorry, I'll just stop here for a minute. इनका कहना ये है कि हम एयरपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, खुश हो रहे हैं, तो जैसे ही एयरपोर्ट की शुरुआत हुई, आपके बिल्डिंग्स की हाइट रिस्ट्रिक्ट होना शुरू हो जाएगी.
नहीं, पानी में बना हुआ एयरपोर्ट.
और एक मिनट में एक पॉइंट ऐड करना चाहूँगा.
Yes, best. Japan.
Kansai, kind of Kansai airport.
So, so if anything that had to be changed was the aviation limitation on all of us. So I think apart from that, in terms of bylaws, it's only about how willing we are to take it and take it with a pinch of salt. That's all.
I have one answer to that. There should be no restriction on FAR. I have worked in countries, cities across the world. There is no restriction on FAR. As long as you are providing, there should be bylaws, urban design guidelines or plot DCR, which should define that you provide so much Mother Earth, you provide so many parking spaces, you provide so much of accessibility, fire norms, basic health and safety checks, right? And margins that you have to provide so that you don't handshake with the second man right next to your door. As long as you are meeting all these requirements, there shouldn't be any restriction on FAR. If you are a clever designer, you can give a better product by having that margin available to you. And that is very good. And I agree with the aviation point. I think cities with more aviation, I mean, you look at London. London has 6 airports, more bigger and smaller. But their height restrictions are not challenged by that, right?
We are working with CREDAI-MCHI Mumbai chapter for bringing out changes in elevation and bylaws. So if it can't be done there, if you are making urban guidelines for Boisar, I'd be more than happy to share those on behalf of our team.
Thank you for that. पर मैं एक आपको मेरा खुद का एग्जांपल बताना चाहूँगा. I used to work in England as an urban planner and urban designer way back in 2000, early 2000s. मैं आपको एक केस स्टडी बताना चाहूँगा. ये कंप्लायंस की और बायलॉज की हम जो बात कर रहे हैं ना, वो इतने स्ट्रिक्ट हमारे यहाँ क्यों हैं? बिकॉज वी आवरसेल्व्स आर नॉट वेरी एनवायरमेंटली सेंसिटिव. मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल दूंगा और आप मुझे बताना कि मैं सही हूँ या गलत हूँ. माय क्लाइंट वाज कैंटरबरी यूनिवर्सिटी. उनका एक म्यूजिक का स्कूल हुआ करता था, एक म्यूजिक स्कूल का बिल्डिंग था, एक प्योर रेक्टेंगुलर बिल्डिंग. एंड दे वांटेड टू एक्सटेंड द बिल्डिंग. उनको और बड़ा करना था ताकि उनके और क्लासेस और म्यूजिक रूम्स वगैरह आ पाए. इट वाज अ सिंपल केस ऑफ एक्सटेंशन. बराबर वो बिल्डिंग के पीछे जो एक्जिस्टिंग बिल्डिंग था रेक्टेंगल, उसके पीछे एक संतरे का झाड़ था. इट वाज एन ऑरेंज ट्री. ऑरेंज ट्री का हाइट ज़्यादा होता नहीं है, राइट? और मुझे पता था कि मुझे पेड़ काटने की परमिशन तो मांगना भी भूलना था, मतलब वो नहीं मिलने वाली थी. सो व्हाट आई डिड इज दैट इन माय एक्सटेंशन मैंने उसको इस तरह से किया कि जो पेड़ है इट बिकम्स अ पार्ट ऑफ द बिल्डिंग एंड उसके आजू बाजू में थोड़ी सी ह्यूमन एक्टिविटी हो जाए. और वो हिसाब से मैंने प्लान करके, वो ज़माने में इंटरनेट तब नया शुरू हुआ था और एवरी एप्लीकेशन ऑफ एक्सटेंशन वॉज टू बी डन ऑनलाइन. मुझे अभी भी याद है 80 पाउंड भरना होता था. 80 पाउंड भर के मुझे वो एप्लीकेशन करना था. तो मैंने मेरे क्लाइंट के लिए वो एप्लीकेशन ऑनलाइन कर दी. On third day, I got an email for rejection. मुझे ये कहा गया कि भाई आपका जो एक्सटेंशन का जो एप्लीकेशन है वो जो लोकल काउंसिल जिसको आप म्यूनसिपालिटी कहते हो उसने रिजेक्ट कर दिया है। सो मैंने उनको पूछा, उन्होंने रीज़न नहीं दिया था। अब देखो सरकार पैसा कैसे कमाती है, अगर आपको अपील करना है और रीज़न पूछना है तो आपको और 80 पाउंड करने हैं। सो मैंने क्लाइंट को पूछा कि भाई रिजेक्ट हो गया है बट एटलीस्ट लेट मी आस्क व्हाट इज द रीज़न सो दैट वी कैन अमेंड इट लेटर ऑन। सो मैंने और 80 पाउंड भर के मैंने उनको अपील किया, क्वेश्चन किया कि भाई ये रिजेक्शन का कारण क्या है। आपको पता है उन्होंने मुझे क्या कहा? ऑन द सेकेंड डे ऑफ माई एप्लीकेशन द एनवायरमेंटल इम्पैक्ट असेसमेंट टीम डिड अ 2.5 किलोमीटर रेडियस का सर्वे। और वो सर्वे में उन्होंने क्या पाया? उस सर्वे में उन्होंने पाया कि 2.5 किलोमीटर के रेडियस में फ्रूट बेरिंग ट्री एक ही है, और पेड़ है लेकिन फ्रूट बेरिंग ट्री एक ही है। और ये एरिया में, कैंटरबरी एरिया में फ्रूट ईटिंग बैट्स मतलब चमगादड़, बराबर, उनकी संख्या काफ़ी ज़्यादा है। एंड दे डिपेंड ऑन वन ऑफ दिस ट्री जो मेरे बिल्डिंग के पीछे था, संतरे का झाड़, टू हैव देयर फूड। तो आपने वो पेड़ को प्रिजर्व किया है लेकिन आपने जो ह्यूमन एक्टिविटी बढ़ा दी उसके आजू बाजू में, उसकी वजह से चमगादड़ को तकलीफ होगी और इसके लिए हम आपको बिल्डिंग का एक्सटेंशन नहीं करने देंगे। अब बताइए साहब, आप मुझे इंडिया में एक केस बताइए जहाँ पर चमगादड़ की वजह से आपको बिल्डिंग बनाने की परमिशन नहीं मिली है।
बहुत सही बात है। इंग्लैंड इज लाइक दैट। हम लोग गालियाँ भी देते थे बट है, ऐसा है। एक प्रोजेक्ट में मैं जब काम कर रहा था वहाँ पर बैजर सेट हुआ करता था। बैजर जो गिलहरी और आई डोंट नो खरगोश के बीच का कोई प्राणी है, तो बैजर सेट हुआ करता था। उसका 30 मीटर रेडियस हमें छोड़ना है, राइट। बैट फ्लाइंग कॉरिडोर है तो बैट फ्लाइंग कॉरिडोर छोड़ना है डिज़ाइन में। तो ये सब चीज़ें हैं वहाँ पर। हम उतने लेवल पे शायद जा पाए ना जा पाए वो पता नहीं, बट हाँ एफर्ट करना चाहिए कि पानी हो, बायोडाइवर्सिटी हो, बचे। बिकॉज वॉट एवर बायोडाइवर्सिटी वी आर गोइंग टू सेव, आई थिंक इट विल हेल्प अस। हमारे घर में मॉस्किटोज या मक्खियाँ बढ़ गई है क्योंकि बाहर चकलियाँ और कबूतर कम हो रहे हैं, राइट। सो बायोडाइवर्सिटी एंड इकोसिस्टम विल गो हैंड इन हैंड। वी शुड ट्राई एंड प्रोटेक्ट एज मच बायोडाइवर्सिटी एज वी कुड।
राइट। जितेश, मेरा कहने का मतलब ये था कि हम खुद उतने एनवायरमेंटली सेंसिटिव नहीं हैं अभी भी,
होना पड़ेगा।
लेकिन हम लोग गर्व क्या करते हैं कि हमारा कार्बन फुटप्रिंट उनसे कम है। पर हमारा कम है बिकॉज हमारा अर्बन एक्सपेंशन भी उतना नहीं हुआ है जितना उन लोगों का हो चुका है आज की तारीख में। सो मे बी वी हैव टू लर्न अ बिट। अगर हम ज़्यादा कन्वीनियंट हो जाएं, एनवायरमेंटल सेंसिटिव हो जाए तो शायद ये बायलॉज जो हमें इतना बॉदर कर रहे हैं वो नहीं करेंगे। हावेवर सेइंग दैट, एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन मैं आप दोनों को पूछना चाहूँगा। Give me one message to all my developers and my architects friends sitting here that from tomorrow which we can implement. What are the steps which you suggest today which we can start implementing in our project tomorrow itself to make it more sustainable than what it is today? Jitesh, starting from here.
Okay. I firmly believe आप से एक बड़ा सिटी होता है जिसमें कंपटीशन होता है और एक टियर 2 सिटी होता है जिसमें कोलैबोरेशन का चांसेस होता है, बाद में जाके कंपटीशन मिल जाता है। आज आपके पास वो चांस है, मेक यूज ऑफ इट, कोलैबोरेट, मेक अ मास्टर प्लान बिफोर somebody makes town planning scheme which is just yellow, blue, green color, right? It doesn't talk about anything bigger, and somebody might be doing town planning scheme might find me evil, but that's the truth of it. It doesn't consider any of the environmental concerns or whatever we talk about. So आप अच्छे से come together, make the decisions on yourself. कल जाके मेट्रो आने ही वाला है यहाँ पर, कल जाके ट्रांजिट्स आने ही वाले हैं यहाँ पर। By yourself make those decisions so that कल कोई और जाके यहाँ पर रख दो मेट्रो, वहाँ पर रख दो मेट्रो, based on the road corridor.
Jitesh, हम ये decisions कैसे लें? We are assemblers, we are developers.
No, so come together. I'm saying आप CREDAI एक मिलके अगर एक प्लान बनाते हो, right, and go to the government saying that this is what our thought process is. There are instances where this has happened, and the whole Gujarat revolution is the answer of that, right? It did not happen. The town planning scene in Gujarat did not happen overnight. Somebody started it, and then it has become a norm now, right? तो आप अगर start करते हैं, come together, create a master plan, create the urban design, coding for all the plots, create that sustainability framework for your city, right? फिर आप वहाँ जाके एडवोकेसी करिए और आई थिंक टुगेदर यू कैन अचीव लॉन्ग टर्म सक्सेस rather than focusing on your own plots in piecemeal, right? आपको वो करना चाहिए. That would be my message. Sustainability will follow if you have a bigger and better canvas to play with.
Thank you, Ritesh.
I think Jidesh laid down a very strong foundation. To add on to that, I have two things. One is, I would really honestly be excited if Boisar and Palghar decide to go for vertical land use plans. Now, Salo Purana, two-dimensional land use plan is what we've all seen. Why should it be like that? We are allowing mixed uses. Make a three-dimensional one. Make a provision for a land use plan that could be three-dimensional. So this is in continuation what Jitesh said. Second thing is, it's a mix of what Father of the Nation said, the change is the only constant. So Hafiz sir has another way of saying it, Mr. Contractor. He says that if a client comes into my office, I am like a sari ka dukan. So if you want me to try a sari, I will try and show it to you. If you want me to say wear Kanchipuram, I will show that to you. But I will make sure my client does not leave here without buying. So, as a developing node, there is no fixed formula for it today. You are developing, it will evolve. It will evolve in ways which we cannot predict. Don't have your set ways. Let's be ready for change every day. This is the only notion. As architects, I don't come here as an architect. If I were to do work here, I never come here with a preconceived notion that 1 BHK is going to sell or a 2 BHK is going to sell. It will evolve. I should be open to that. As a developer, you have to be open to that. As lawmakers, be ready for the change which it will bring us tomorrow. So that is my only statement for you guys.
Lovely, thank you. Also, I have to tell you, we have a lot of architects today in the audience as well as developers. So I would leave this floor open for questions if anyone wants to ask to both of these gentlemen here. Please.
Hi, my question is to Mubashir ji. Recently, I am doing a redevelopment project in Borivali, and we suddenly received a stop work notice for environmental issues, and they were saying that the pollution is very high, and we developers were held accountable, and there was an infinite day stop work notice received. And now we are reading in the news and public domain that the government is looking at bringing in precast, to address this issue of pollution and environment, and we may need to stop site mixing or the RMC which we use and move towards precast. How much of this do you believe will really be implemented, and what do you feel is going to be the impact of this?
Being somebody who worked a lot on precast, I think for a flexible market like Borivali, wherein half of your flats get opened up, you give 6 crore flats without finishes. You are expecting them to change 2 single bedrooms into 2 double bedrooms, into one single large bedroom. So precast has its limitations. And precast walls, if you're doing precast column beam structures, I would strongly recommend you not to do it, because that is that is a very predated thing, and your structure becomes non-monolithic. So you should never. I mean, a personal note, I would never recommend any of my developer friends to ever do that. And in terms of even if you are having to adopt precast, because if you are making panel wall precast, they are mostly load bearing. So they are like an extension of shear walls. It should be limited only to external walls, and then probably internal should still be flexible. But I really hope it does not happen. It takes away a lot of flexibility, and precast is only doable if you have the quantums to support it. Otherwise, and the incubation time for a precast for an aluminium shuttering, it's around 3 to 4 months lead time to get the shuttering. For precast, even though I told you my structure was made in 96 days, the incubation time for that was 6 to 8 months, which nobody talks about. Neither did I. But that is something which you will have to go through. So,
नहीं, पर मैं इसका आपको जवाब देता हूँ. देखिए, ये जो एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स की वजह से जो स्टॉक पर नोटिस आ रहे हैं, I mean ऐसा कोई भी केस मैं आज आपसे सुन रहा हूँ, अगर ऐसा कुछ भी है, if you are talking about the Mumbai city and the Mumbai suburbs, प्लीज़ कम टू CREDAI-MCHI बिकॉज वी हैव रिजॉल्व दिस केसेस। मैं आपको एग्जांपल देता हूँ, MPCB के चेयरमैन के साथ हम लोग बैठे थे, उन्होंने कहा कि केवल जो भी वार्ड में AQI 200 के ऊपर जाएगा ना, मैं वहाँ पर काम बंद कर दूँगा। आई विल इशू स्टॉप वर्क नोटिस टू एवरीवन। मैंने सर सही बात है। मैंने सर जहाँ 199 होगा वहाँ क्या करेंगे, जहाँ 198 होगा वहाँ क्या करेंगे? वी विल वेट, राइट? हम लोग स्टूपिड जैसा बैठे रहेंगे टू वेट टू सी दैट AQI क्रॉसेस 200 और फिर मैं डंडा मारूंगा। नाउ दिस इज नॉट द वे। सो इफ एट ऑल वी आर फेसिंग दिस काइंड ऑफ डिफिकल्टीज, trust me, CREDAI-MCHI is in the board of this air quality index monitoring committee of BMC under मैडम अश्विनी जोशी जी जो AMC भी है। और हम लोगों ने बहुत सारे सुझाव दिए थे। फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर आपको पता होगा तो पहले उनका नोटिफिकेशन आया था कि आपको 35 फीट का बैरिकेशन करना है। अभी आपके बैरिकेशन एग्जिस्टिंग ऑलरेडी 15 से 20 फीट के होते हैं और वो टेम्पररी होते हैं, तो उनका फाउंडेशन भी टेम्पररी होता है। अब वो लोगों को ये समझ में नहीं आता है कि उसके ऊपर अगर मैं और 10 फीट का बैरिकेशन करूँगा तो वो अपने ही लोड से गिर जाएगा एक टाइम पे। और अगर भगवान ना करे वो अगर बाहर की तरफ गिरा जहाँ कोई चल रहा है या कोई खेल रहा है तो और इश्यूज हो जाएगा। So we went back to them, we said, madam, there is no logic behind having a 35 feet barricade because the concept is to arrest the dust which is coming out of the project. तो जो मेरा 15 या 20 फीट का जो बैरिकेशन है उसके अंदर मैं लीन टू रूफ अगर मैं लीन टू रूफ ये दे रहा हूँ और उसके अंदर अगर मैं ग्रीन नेट लगाता हूँ तो जो डस्ट बाहर आ रही है वो उधर ही कैप्चर हो जाएगी। सो अल्टीमेटली दे एड्रेस द इशू एंड उन्होंने 25 फीट पे स्टॉप किया। So if any such issues you have, please come to us because stop work notices are mainly with a very particular mindset कि आपका काम रोक कर मैं और आपसे क्या ले सकता हूँ। Otherwise, if you follow the basic guidelines, जहाँ पर आपको RMC की गाड़ी जो आपकी आ रही है उसको धोना है, उसके टायर्स को धोना है, आपको अपने कचरे को ढक के रखना है, आप जो एक्सकवेशन कर रहे हो उसको ढक के रखना है। अगर आपका कहीं पर स्टोन कटिंग का काम चालू है या टाइलिंग का काम चालू है तो उधर आपको ग्रीन नेट लगाना है। If you follow this basic parameters, I don't think any government agency will issue a stop work notice. Thank you. Any other questions, ladies and gentlemen? All right, I believe we had a good session here and thank you for listening to us. Thank you gentlemen for coming all the way from Mumbai and sharing your expertise with us. I once again request the CREDAI-MCHI Palghar unit to make a committee on sustainable development and make sure that these two experts are a part of it. Prashant ji.
We'll set up a committee and we'll thank you very much.
Thank you. I announce this panel to be closed on this decision. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. It was pleasure to have such talented architects along with us. Brahma Kshatriya, I would like to invite on stage Nandan Deep Kokane sir, Association of Consulting Civil Engineers, India, Palghar District Center. Time निकाल के आए हैं, so it's a token of appreciation from CREDAI-MCHI Palghar-BOISAR. Next to felicitate architect Mubashir Jabbi, I would like to invite on stage Pranav Deshmukh, President, Architect and Engineers Association of Palghar. Let's welcome him with a big round of applause everyone. जोरदार तालियों के साथ उनका स्वागत करेंगे. स्टेज पे रुकिए सर, आप भी स्टेज पे आ जाइए, एक साथ एक पिक्चर लेंगे ना. प्रेसिडेंट ISSE पालघर, जोरदार तालियों के साथ उनका स्वागत करेंगे.
Keval, we want to keep appreciating you all the time.
आप सब लोग आ जाइए स्टेज पे. हमारे जो इतने अच्छे हैं. थैंक यू, थैंक यू.